Hey everyone, Darren Starr here, owner and coach at 5 Star Physique. Now, each week over on Instagram, I post a poll asking for your input on what we should be discussing here in this video each week. So this is your call. Now, you can go over there and follow me at 5 Star Fit to get your vote in each week. This week's topic is going to be on how to maintain your routine as a bodybuilder while traveling on the road. So there are so many variables and circumstances to consider, so let's just go ahead and jump right in. First, before we get started, go ahead and scroll down just a little bit and click on the link in the description field to grab a copy of my free training primer. This is a document that's going to help you set or reset your brain and your expectations for the gym and will help you avoid hitting a hard plateau and keep you forcing progressive overload in the long term. And while you're down there, scroll down just a little bit further and leave a comment. Go ahead and tell everybody about the last time you took a trip and tried to stay to your plan and failed miserably. What was it that was your undoing on that particular trip? Because I can tell you, you'll be in good company. We have all done it. But hopefully, after watching this video, those stories will be a thing of the past. So let's get started and break down things at the very top level to start. Point number one when traveling is to establish expectations well before you ever leave. Not all trips are created equal. Some are legitimate vacations and should be treated as such. Leave your plan at home. Others, if you may be going to visit family, there may be some middle ground in there. Others, if they are business trips and you take those frequently and regularly, if you treat those with a more relaxed attitude and you take one, let's say once a month, certainly in the long term, that's going to have an impact on your overall progress. So establish the ground rules well before you leave. What do you hope to accomplish? Do you feel like you can stay on plan? Do you feel like it's appropriate to try and stay on plan? If you have a once-in-a-lifetime vacation going to Europe, for example, maybe not so much. I would partake in some of the local food, leave your plan behind, resume it when you get back. You also need to take into account what phase of your training or your diet that you are in. So if you are in an off-season or growth phase, that's going to lead you in one direction that may be a little bit more lenient. If you're in a pre-contest phase and you have to travel, then certainly sticking to the plan and doing your best to adhere to it is going to be the smart move. And one thing that I work on with my clients when trying to pick what show they're actually doing is look at everything that's on the calendar ahead of time that they know about. So if you have a vacation planned for June, a show in July is probably a bad idea. Now, for the sake of everything that follows in this video, we're going to assume that circumstances have been set and that you are going to make an honest attempt to stay on plan for your trip. Point number two, accommodations. Now, where are you staying? First of all, are you going to be staying with family, friends? Are you going to be staying in a hotel? What do the facilities look like? Do you have a full kitchen? Do you have just the bare essentials of maybe a mini fridge and a microwave? Do you have none of the above? You need, realistically, if you want to have a chance of staying on plan for a trip of any duration longer than, say, a day, you need to have access to at least a mini fridge and a microwave. So when trying to book your arrangements ahead of time, if you're doing it yourself, think about that. Call ahead, ask hotels, be obnoxious, try and be explicit, and make sure if you ask, do you have a mini fridge? Do you have a microwave? Make sure that they are available in the room that you are looking to book as well, because those things are common, they're typical in hotel rooms, but they are certainly not universal. If there is no microwave available in the rooms, do they have one in the common area that you can use? That's certainly a little bit of a hassle, but it gives you an option going forward at least. If it's a business trip and you're not going to be booking the hotel yourself, think about where it is. The other part of accommodations is travel. If this is someplace where you're driving, great. You get there, you've got a car. If you're flying, will you have a rental car? Are you going to be relying on a taxi or Uber? Are you going to have to walk most places where you're going? Is somebody else going to be transportation for you and they'll have to pick you up? So if you have the ability to control where you're staying or provide input to human resources or whoever is doing the booking, look around. Check maps, see what's in the area, look for a gym that's nearby. If your transportation is going to be a little bit limited, if you can find a gym and a hotel that are within a couple blocks of each other and it's not too far off from where you need to be for the actual purpose of your trip, go ahead and make that request and see if they can accommodate. Point number three, and this is a big one, is food. Now, we are going to correctly assume that following a macronutrient-based plan when you're traveling is going to be much easier, far superior than trying to follow a strict and regimented meal plan. The ability to adapt and improvise when you're on the road, when you're away from your normal routine, you don't necessarily have access to all of your foods, it's very important. So if you have experience with logging your macros and hitting them reliably, great. If you don't, get some experience. practice before you go on your trip. Find a food logging or tracking app that you like. I recommend MyFitnessPal. Get very familiar with how it works, so you're not trying to learn it while you're on the road, and you can actually rely on it for some degree of precision on your trip. Also, keep in mind, unless you're driving, unless you're going on a very short trip, you're probably not going to be able to take everything that you need with you. So plan on hitting a grocery store for some supplies once you get there, and assume also that you won't have access to a full kitchen, so you're gonna want to go with options that are pre-cooked for your protein sources. So bring along some protein powder. Also pick up some pre-cooked chicken breast strips, deli turkey, jerky, things like that. Pre-cooked options that you will not have to prep in a kitchen that you probably don't have access to. Point number 4, the gym. Now, you can pretty much universally expect hotel gyms to be terrible. If yours isn't, great, you got lucky. But photos on websites can be very inaccurate. They may show something that is typical of a specific chain, but then when you actually get to the fitness center where you're staying, it is a treadmill and a single 20-pound dumbbell, not necessarily gonna cut it. So that might do okay for a short trip. If it's a day or two, you can miss a day or two of lifting and it's not gonna kill you. You're not gonna lose all your gains, so just chill out. But for longer trips, I would certainly encourage you to find a local gym. So this is closely tied in with transportation if you need to find a facility away from where you're staying. So if you've got a car, great. You've got a pretty good size radius that you can look for. Otherwise, perform a search and look for things that are gonna be within walking distance or an easy public transportation or Uber ride to where you're staying. So you can inquire with those places, call them directly, ask about their day passes, guest rates, and also check on their hours. If you are going specifically on a business trip, you may be putting in some long days, you need to make sure that that gym is actually going to be open when you have the ability to go there. One other thing to consider, when you're searching for gyms, keep in mind that this is going to turn up a lot of things that are not necessarily a standard commercial gym like you're expecting. So this could also turn up things like CrossFit gyms. It could turn up gymnastic centers. It can even turn up dance studios. So whatever you find, just dig in, check out their website, and make sure that it is actually what you're looking for. Call them and make sure that they have all the accommodations that you need. Point number 5, airports. This is the place where meal plans and diets go to die. Now, there are macro-friendly options available in airports. You just have to find them. They're not necessarily going to jump out at you. Keep in mind that all of those chains that you can find in airport food courts, all of those foods are available in the MyFitnessPal database. So if you just search for there, assuming you have the time, you can find an option that fits. It's maybe not exactly what you want, but you can make it work. Another tactic that you can use, especially for shorter flights, is to eat before the airport, get on your flight, and then leave once you're out of the airport, thus eliminating the problem of having to find appropriate food in the airport to begin with. For longer flights or something with multiple layovers, it's not likely to work. It's certainly harder if you're on a restricted calorie or macro plan as well, but it certainly is doable. Another point, your meal prep bag, you can take it with you on the plane with meals in it. So this is crucial. Do not miss this. The freezer packs that you put in your meal prep bag to keep it cold must be absolutely frozen when you go through security checkpoints. If it starts to melt or thaw a little bit, a TSA agent is going to look at that and they have every right to say, not so much. We got to get rid of that. So you don't want that to happen. What you want to do is right before you leave home, that's when you pull the freezer pack out of the freezer, stick it in the bag. It also helps if you take one of your meals that you're taking with you, have it frozen and put that in the bag right in the middle as well. That's going to lower the overall temperature inside the bag and make it so that everything stays cool longer. A word about utensils. Don't bring them, especially not a knife. Come on, you know better than that. There's all kinds of plastic utensils available at the airport. Grab them there. Things like peanut butter, oil, yogurt. Those are things that under TSA guidelines are classified as liquids or gels. So they're subject to the 3-1-1 rule, where you have to put them in specific containers and then put those containers in a bag. Bleh, hassle. You need your toothpaste, you need all the other toiletries. You don't need to do that for food. You can pick that stuff up at your destination. So I would leave it at home, avoid that hassle completely. Supplements. Your supplement containers are big. And your tendency, I mean, it takes up valuable bag space, so your natural tendency is going to be to want to repurpose those into smaller containers that are not officially labeled. You go through a security checkpoint, and then suddenly a TSA agent thinks your creatine is cocaine, and your day is ruined. So you don't want that. You can deal without those supplements for a few days, however long your trip is. It's not going to be a problem. So I just leave that stuff at home completely. You can get away with it. If it were me, I wouldn't necessarily risk it. I'd just go for the clear option of smooth sailing, leave that stuff at home. Protein powder you can probably get away with simply because it has taste to it, so if you need to demonstrate that it's fine, you can. I would still probably lean towards putting that in a check bag, assuming you're taking one, just to play on the safe side. Now, another point that's very important here, and that is that all of these are just the TSA guidelines, but TSA agents are human beings. They have a really hard job. It's very stressful dealing with people like us every day by the thousands. So give them the benefit of the doubt. Try and make it easy for them. Be nice. Be cooperative. Don't argue. Don't make anyone's day worse than it has to be. Just be prepared. Leave as much questionable stuff at home as you can, or plan on picking it up at your destination. Make your trip as safe and as seamless as it possibly can be for everyone. As you can see, it all comes down to planning. Now, based on the circumstances of your trip, it may be easier to stick to a plan or routine, or it may be a lot harder. So go all the way back to point number one. Establish expectations and then take it from there. Perform your due diligence and be thorough in your planning. Set yourself up for success and just define that term in whatever way is most appropriate for your trip. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for future updates. I would really appreciate it. Share it with your friends as well. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.